I'm calling to order this meeting of the Montara Water and Sanitary District. It is March 7th, 2024 at 7:32 p.m. Can we have a roll call, please?
Director Decker. Here. Director Boyd.
Here.
Director Slater Carter.
Present.
Director Sofke.
Here.
And Director Young is currently not present.
All right, thank you. Well, let's see, for president's statement tonight, I would just like to say we had an election on Tuesday. And I want to thank everyone who participated, because participation is how we keep this thing working. It takes many forms, but showing up on election day is a really important one. And just grateful for everyone who does that, and for the people who serve working in the elections process. A lot of it looks pretty mundane, but it is so important. And we here are supported by the participation of our community, and it's a real honor for us to do this. And we're really happy to be here to do it. And we invite all manner of participation, and we're really grateful for those of you here with us tonight. All right, do we have any oral comments for items that are not on the agenda? Looking for any hands in the public. If not, let's look at the consent agenda. Do we have any items that board members wish to pull for consideration?
Yes.
Peter?
Item 2, the approve the financial statements from January 2024.
Okay,
We made a bit of a mistake in the budget by kind of underestimating how many meters we would buy, which makes a big difference in the number of expenditures. The other thing is in the cash and in the Wells Fargo account, there is a total of 5.878 million. There is also money on the wave and in camp. We discussed this once before. When are we going to transfer further funds from the Wells account into camp or lake?
So we actually did. We actually transferred some major funds last week.
Oh.
So this should be this will be reflected with the next statements. So we made some significant transfers.
Good, because on an amount like this, interest percentage of 4 or 5% really adds a lot of special funds to our income. And
Yes.
would completely obliterate the meter difference that we have now exceeded in our budget.
Yeah, that's right. Yes. So we definitely listen to your advice here, and it makes absolute sense. We can transfer some funds.
Thank you. That's
all right. If that's everything, can we have a motion to approve the consent agenda?
Somebody.
Okay, so Catherine and Peter, thank you. All in favor, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Any abstentions? Okay, the motion carries 5-0. The consent agenda is approved. Under new business, we have 2 items. Item number 1, review and possible action concerning proposed disposal of 2006 Ford F-250 surplus Boss D60 generator and multi-equip DH04801 generator. Clemens?
Yeah, thank you, Scott. This board approved at our last meeting the purchase of replacement generators. And what we're here doing is essentially are now asking to dispose of two of the generators that we're trying to replace. And also a truck that is way beyond the past of its useful life. And so the process here is really to declare these items surplus. And then we will try to find the best bid. We usually go through a state auction if that is available. Essentially just, there's like a bunch of publicly owned items, trucks, etc., that can be auctioned off in one bundle. That's our preferred way. If that's not available, then we are going to sell the truck at the high or all of the equipment either to the highest bidder, or I'm assuming that some of these generators will not be able to produce anywhere from the district and have to be disposed of.
Do they have scrap value?
That's what I'm saying. I mean, it's either scrap value, but it's sometimes really difficult to get rid of these items.
Right.
Yeah. So we're gonna start working on that.
Okay. Do you have any public comment? Any other questions? I want to commend the team for keeping things in service as long as they have. This is kind of an extraordinary lifetime on that generator, 37 years. It's like there's probably some award somewhere that we could go for generator with the longest life. Well, if
$270.
so I'm looking for a motion to adopt the resolution next in order, resolution of the Montara Water and Sanitary District declaring certain property as surplus and authorizing its sale.
So moved.
Okay, Sid, do I have a second, please?
Second.
All right, Bill, thank you. It's a resolution. Let's just do a roll call vote. Clemens, if we could have the roll call.
Director Decker,
Aye.
Director Young,
Aye.
Director Boyd,
Aye.
Director Slater Carter,
Yes.
Director Softy.
Aye.
All right, with a vote of 5-0, the resolution is approved. Thank you. Next item is review SB 1383 local assistance grant program application on behalf of Recology of the Coast. Clemens?
Yeah, thank you. So we have to give kudos to Tracy for taking the lead on this application on behalf of Recology of the Coast. And that is really for the implementation of SB 1383. So this has to do with our with composting ultimately. This is essentially an outreach grant, and so we asked for a bit over $10,000 for the implementation, and we're awarded $75,000, which is the minimum amount. So
1,000.
Really?
So we have a good chunk of money to
That's great.
to do some good work here with Recology of the Coast. And so we're going to sit together with them and work on a budget on how to spend these funds going forward. So I think this is really good news.
Great,
Thank you, Tracy.
Thank you so much. Good job.
Yeah.
I tell you, it's this agency has a real track record of going after grants, and sometimes you get them. And Tracy, congratulations on. I don't think we've ever had a multiplier this big over the amount we requested. So
I'd like to add, Tracy, you're awesome. Thank you. And this district has a history. We worked with Sam on getting a FEMA funds. And so we are willing to spend our time and our money to improve the community as a whole. We don't stay just anchored in our own little mossy rock here. But we actually are concerned about the entire community. I'm just in awe of our entire staff and Tracy on this particular one. And I hope Recology takes that into account on our rates.
I think, given the long history with Recology, a long time ago, it was very rocky. And I'm just very pleased to see this kind of collaboration and us helping them achieve something because we've got the ability to do so. It's, we work better together.
I wish they would update their website with 2024 data.
They did.
Did they finally
They
do
did.
that?
I sent a request and they updated their calendar and
Oh, good.
so it does look like they're busy people and it wouldn't hurt if we reminded them from time to time. That's okay. They were very polite about it and got it done very quickly. I'm just sure they're attending to, all the things. They really have a very small team that's dedicated to the coast side. And so it was a simple request. They took care of it expeditiously. So
One of the things that I would like to see us working with Recology on is to put the collection days that happen at the Fairlawn View on our website.
Oh,
that'd be good.
Because I have seen many people on Nextdoor asking about that, and nobody knows when it is, and I think it would be easy, actually, to be honest, if we did not only for us, but for Granada, so people could have a complete sense of
Yeah,
what's available.
Yeah, it's not that many dates and their site is a little challenging to navigate.
There's only 4 days a year.
So 3 are left, because we already had one.
Right.
We
All
can
right.
do that.
Let's go to reports. Sewer Authority Mid-Coast side.
Let me think, Peter,
the
it's
main issue was the budget.
yeah,
There was an amended budget requested for, which included the money spent on the Princeton pump station, or the money to be spent on the Princeton pump station and the IPS. And the budget was rejected in our last meeting by the City of Half Moon Bay. So there have meanwhile been developments there and that we will inform everybody about later.
well, I will say that when asked if they would approve the complete Ecological Rights Foundation, ERF, settlement, they said, no, they will not approve the entire thing. And those are the 2 folks from Half Moon Bay. And I have asked Keishan in any future staff reports to put an emphasis on the fact that Montara and Granada have approved it. And we're ready to go forward. If people want to learn more about the Princeton pump station, go online to Sewer Authority Mid-Coast site and watch 10 days ago, the Monday presentation. The crew was begging, pleading to get this life-threatening piece of infrastructure repaired.
After 40 years.
After 40 years, it was identified in 1987. It's also, and something left out of the Half Moon Bay Public Staff Report. It is, and there was a letter sent by the general manager of the Harbor District, because it is a disaster in waiting in terms of sewer spills into the harbor and into the swamp, or the wetland that the county manages and owns. And if we don't
Point of
get,
information,
What?
Wait a
Greg,
minute, I
I
had
had
my
one.
hand up.
I had mine first. The Half Moon Day approved the Princeton
Greg.
pump station.
You do not have the floor. You have not been recognized, and I have not called on anyone yet.
I was talking.
Catherine,
so
I have the floor for the moment, and I will give it back to you in a moment. But please, through the chair, wait to be recognized. Please don't talk over each other. Catherine, could you finish? And we'll go to the.
I will finish. I just wanted to say it is a serious environmental hazard in waiting and a life-threatening hazard in waiting. And I was talking to a city manager at women's elected women's breakfast. And I told her about this and she said, why hasn't anybody called OSHA?
Good idea.
And there are So it is a serious problem, but there is also the Sam force main in Montara, called the Montara force main, is also a disaster, an environmental disaster in waiting. And Sam will have to pay all of these fees. And in the last 4 or 5 years, the price on replacing the Princeton pump station has quintupled. It's gone from $500,000 to $2,500,000. In this day of inflation and cost of living going up, it's going to hit all of us because we're all going to have to pay it in our sewer bills.
All right, I'm gonna go first to Michelle Dragony and then to Greg Diegos and then to you, Sid.
Thanks, Scott. So, to Greg, he was about to scoop me, and I'm a little perturbed about that. So, Half Moon Bay, at 12 o'clock at night on Tuesday, finally approved under protest to fund the Sewer Authority Midcoast Side's Princeton Pump Station capital project to keep workers safe and to comply with the ERF consent decree, titled by Kishin. So, I think you're good to go.
No,
No,
Absolutely not.
No, so we're gonna go around again. Let's go to Greg and then to Sid.
Is this for my MCC report?
not yet.
No, we're still on Sam.
Okay, so I had my hand up before Michelle to say the same thing.
Well, let me just explain how this works. The chair calls on people. So Greg, you can yell at me across the street tomorrow and we can sort that out. But for now, this is a chair run board and I will call on people in order, and I try to do it fairly, but sometimes I may just miss a beat. So bear with me, I'm a human too. So Greg, did you have anything else or are we gonna go to Sid?
We're still on Sam, Greg.
if I may say something about Sam.
Okay, let me get to Sid. She's been waiting
I just
patiently and
have a
then we'll
quick
go.
question.
Yes.
My understanding, and I did miss the Half Moon Bay board meeting, but I also missed the last Sam board meeting, and I understood that there was like a delay when the contractor had all their equipment in Princeton ready to start, and then Tim had to run down there and tell them to quit. Now, did they leave with their equipment and we have to maybe try to beg them to come back, or are they still waiting for us?
They're waiting for us.
So, okay, that was the main thing I was wondering about. Thank you.
Okay,
But
Peter.
what I wanted to say to Michelle, that this matter is not over because the ERF consent decree calls for both the Princeton pump station to be ready by a certain deadline and also calls for the IPS to be replaced by a certain deadline. The first item has been kicked off. The second item is still open.
Oh, and my
So
second.
hang on. You don't get to just jump in.
No.
Everybody wants to jump in tonight. I'm gonna be a little more pedantic about this. I will call on people and I saw, Michelle, you had your hand up. Did you have more?
I just wanted to say thank you to Peter for clarifying that. Thank you.
All right, and
And
Sid?
and I just
No,
wanted.
no, I still gonna insist.
Oh.
Wait to be called on.
I thought
You
you
don't,
said it. Sorry.
I was
did.
turning to you and I hadn't said anything yet and everyone's jumping in and please, we're all adults. We can all take our turn.
Well, I forgot to say something when I had my hand up the last time, and that
And-
was,
And that happens.
I know it does, so. I
And
put
you
my hand
still
up
have to
again.
wait, but you still have to wait to be recognized.
Okay. Am I recognized now?
Yes.
Goody. I was just gonna say that to me, even more important than, the price going up and everything else, that Princeton pump station is a worker safety issue. And I just can't believe that Half Moon Bay has been so lackadaisical about that portion of getting it fixed. That scares the hell out of me. So to me, that's the most important thing.
All right, Catherine?
Yeah, for the folks listening, essentially what they are trying to do is a line item veto. Half Moon Bay is trying to do is a line item veto on a federal court settlement that they agreed to pay. And Montara and Renata have approved, not only approved the settlement, but we have voted to amend the budget to pay for both of those. And so once again, we are being put at risk, and I want to repeat for the public, and everyone else, that their staff report didn't talk about worker safety. It didn't mention the federal settlement, the settlement in federal court with an environmental organization, nor did it mention the extremely dangerous situation if that thing breaks and we get sewage in the harbor and in the wetland. So they didn't take up discussing the agenda item until 11:45 at night. And the camera went off, I am informed. I haven't tried to watch it, but the camera went off sometime before that. So what I've been informed and haven't double checked is you can't watch their meeting on that. Deborah Ruddick was not there. Deborah Penrose was not there. The three voters were Robert Brownstone, Harvey Rareback, and Joaquin Jimenez. And they all voted for it, but on incomplete information.
All right, let me recognize Michelle.
I had no problem with the video. It's up on my website. It was completely shared. I only stayed up to like 1:45 I didn't see it until 24 hours after PCT got it up, but the video is just fine.
Good.
So yeah, I think and in terms of, I'm looking at the agenda staff report. It's a complete report on everything, including the ERF. I'm not sure if I misunderstood something, but they talk about, you just have to look at the background. It's pretty detailed. And if it's not right, then contact Moz, because he's the guy who's writing this stuff.
So I'm just, thank you for that. I'm just taking a quick look at what you put up on GoSite Buzz. And it's about the Princeton pump station. And what I don't see is any mention of the other half of this. And the ERF settlement covers both. And so to piecemeal it and take the one that you think is okay and forget to do the other one, I'll just observe this. I saw today someone at a national level saying to a court, I don't really like the judgment that was brought against me, and I'd really like a lot more time. And I can tell you what happened in that one. The court said, no, that judgment stands and your deadline stands, and deal with it. So let me be really clear. ERF brought suit against SAM. SAM worked very hard and diligently to deal with the action that was brought, and the result was a settlement agreement between ERF and SAM. And let me be really clear. SAM is owned by Montara Water and Sanitary District, Granada Community Services District, and the city of Half Moon Bay. And when SAM approved the settlement, the owners of SAM aren't somehow not involved with this. SAM agreed to this with ERF, and this was taken to a federal judge, and that settlement was brought before that judge, and that settlement was agreed to. So I don't know. I don't want to be the one going, yeah, I don't think so. And I don't know why they're playing games with this. Montara, Granada both understand what this means and both quickly agreed to this and put forward our approval for the funding for these projects, both of them, not just one. And Half Moon Bay is playing footsie with this, like somehow it's not important. If you live in Half Moon Bay and happen to see this, or if you have friends in Half Moon Bay, you might ask them, what the heck is the city council doing? Playing footsie with a settlement in front of a federal judge on environmental issues. ERF wasn't wrong. There was a problem. Sam needed to do something to fix it. And guess what? We're all committed to fixing it. Even the city of Half Moon Bay said so when they agreed to it. So why are they now playing footsie with a settlement in front of a federal judge? So if any of you get any answers from the city of Half Moon Bay about what they're doing, I would love to hear about it. All right, Peter?
And the treasurer of Sam, I'm very concerned about the financial impact that any fines that come from either the State Water Quality Control Board or even from the EPA can come at us because we don't abide by the consent decree that we signed.
All right, so I think that's an excellent Sam report. Let's go on to our next item. Greg, your turn, Midcoast Community Council meeting.
Thanks, Scott. This afternoon, early evening, San Mateo County Planning released a 140-page staff report on the Cypress Point apartment project. MCC has a special meeting called for Sunday at 4 p.m. to see if we can craft a letter to the county before their meeting on Wednesday, which will take place in part when we would normally meet. They're holding it down here at a hotel. Details are on the website. So the Planning Commission is going to review the Cypress Point project here. We're trying to get video and Zoom. I don't know if we're going to be successful. Initially, they hadn't planned to do that. I think Michelle pointed this out, but there's a multi-asset roadway rehabilitation project Caltrans is working on. There's going to be the loss of significant parking at Surfers Beach as a result of bike lanes and other stuff. Just thought you should be aware of that. El Granada school remodel has gone through some revisions. The Cabrillo Unified School District held extra public meetings. The planning department got involved. I would say we had a very collaborative effort. A bunch of revisions were made to address community concerns, and the MCC issued a second letter endorsing the project, thanking Cabrillo for making those changes in an attempt to get this project started in May so that we don't have the contracts void and cost overruns and so forth. Unfortunately, Sean McFetridge has resigned, so I know I'll miss him. We did ask the county or parks for some explanation of what they did with herbicides. They held a session on it, and I'm told by Nick Calderon that shortly we should have a response to the community concerns we wrote Parks about regarding herbicides. Parks is also considering a device to burn the logs on site at Quarry Park. I don't remember the precise term, but it's kind of a slow burner contained. And finally, and maybe this is old news, you're aware the middle mile broadband extension was approved by the Coastal Commission. And Michelle had an article on Cruise.io getting a grant to cover rural parts of our area. It's unclear whether it'll include us, but I reached out to the chief operating officer at Cruise.io, and we're going to talk about it in a couple of weeks. Today, we had a meeting with some state representatives about middle mile, talking about the costing, pricing, and design of a local network. You may be surprised to hear that Leo Gomez, who authored our telecommunications report, has already formed his own small network in Montara. And Montara is number one. I was sent a magazine by a community member. Montara has the worst cell reception in the United States. And that's it for me.
All right, Greg, let me ask a clarifying question. So the Cypress Point Affordable Housing hearing of the San Mateo County Planning Commission is scheduled for next Wednesday, 6 to 9 at the Oceano Hotel. And I believe their notice says in person only instead of including online. Is that correct?
It did say that. In the background, though, some of us have asked for there to be remote access and video. And I know from staff member at the county who's contacted PCTV. I gave them the contact information. We're trying to arrange for some other additional stuff. I'm not saying we're going to get Zoom, but it looks like we might get video so that after the fact there'd be a record of it.
Thank you for trying and thank you for informing us. So just as a recap, so on midcoastcommunitycouncil.org, there's a draft of the council's letter, at least a starting point, and then there's also information on the upcoming meeting. And Greg, I believe, does this include the most recent document that the county produced?
What I've posted so far is a copy of a letter they wrote, kind of stating why they're exempt from the environmental regulations. And then just recently, I added a link to the staff report, which is 90 megabytes. We don't have our draft letter yet. I have a placeholder on the website for that. It's going to take the special meeting on Sunday to wrestle that to the ground, I'm sure. We do have a prior letter. I could post that. That was another 100 and something page document.
Okay,
that
so
reflected our.
the meeting on Sunday is to prepare for the meeting on Wednesday. Is that correct?
Wednesday. Yeah, try and get a letter to the planning commission on Monday morning.
Okay, great.
I was
Sid?
just gonna say that I believe that meeting is in their special events wedding venue, not in the hotel, so maybe they don't have Wi-Fi, I don't know. In that, there used to be a tent, but maybe they built something now, out back.
I stream a lot of meetings off my phone, so I'm pretty sure
Yeah.
this problem can be overcome. Michelle?
So,
Yeah, I was talking to Angela Montez, who is Steve Monowitz's aide, and she promised me that she was going to record. And then I basically said, if you're not going to do it, I will. So I will show up with my camera. It's 3 hours. It's going to be hard to record that, but I will get it done if I have to.
If you need
Also,
if you need any help, please let me know and I will give you some assistance.
okay. I'll chat with you. Also, I have to apologize. The Half Moon Bay staff report did not mention ERF. However, their attachments did include the SAM agenda items that do mention ERF. And I recall on the video that I think Moz actually referred to the ERF momentarily. So there you go.
Well, I hope it's worth more than a momentary reference. Catherine?
Michelle, thank you for correcting that. The two SAM documents that are attachments to that were what were presented on Monday. The March, whatever it was, for the SAM board meeting. So you can read those documents on the Half Moon Bay website and on the on the SAM website and watch the meeting on the SAM website. But it's the staff report was very limited in its scope and its breadth, and it's unfortunately, I believe they're going to try and force Montara and Granada to sign this stipulation, which is nonsense. So.
Okay, Sid?
quick question for Michelle, the person you talked to that works with Steve Monowitz, did she explain to you why they're not planning to have Zoom as an option?
They have technological issues. They have to go through their county IT. They can't, the planning department can't just send out a videographer. So I've had this problem before, but like I said, I'm going to show up with my camera and my 2 or 3 batteries, and it's got an extra camera and a couple of other batteries. We'll get this done. We'll put it up on YouTube.
But what I meant was it won't be interactive that way without Zoom. Thank you.
Yes, I don't think so.
Tomorrow, and I don't see any reason we couldn't do it with Zoom. I mean, that's just a phone, right? And
I agree. I'm game. Yep.
Holding it in my hand, maybe we could find a stand to hold it or something, and then we need to plug it in. So it doesn't
Sounds
run
good.
out. Okay.
So the community with the worst internet service comes to the rescue of the county with a $3 billion budget.
It just turns out that, some of these problems aren't as hard as some people would like to make them. Okay, let's see. I think we have like more things to do here. So CSDA report.
We have a meeting coming up, we have our minutes out, the meeting will be in May.
Okay, thank you. See, we all pitch in for the technical. Do you have a last report? If you ever,
No effort.
no last report. Attorney's report, Christine?
No report.
All right, thank you. Any director's reports? And Clemens, do you have anything to add to your general manager's report?
Yes, my availability to both prepare the next meeting that is scheduled to be on the 21st. As well as, I'm not sure about my availability on the 21st, I'm giving a heads up that this meeting will most likely be canceled. If we have to find another, we need a meeting, we have to find another time.
Okay.
Okay.
All right, thanks for the heads up. All right, we have on the future agendas MWSD hydrants. Not the first time to see that. We are going to wrap up our public session. We're going to take a break and then we'll reconvene in closed session. With that, I'd like to thank so much our members of the public who have shown up, and for everyone watching online, and for the participation at any level. We appreciate that, and we hope to see you again very soon. With that, we are in recess.